Hi and welcome to the This is Reportage podcast. My name is Alan Law. I'm the founder of This Reportage and the Reportage family, and I'm a photographer too. Today I have got the brilliant Amy Sampson with me. Amy is based in Devon in the southwest of the UK, which is not the best county in the southwest, but it's all right. And she is a multi-award-winning photographer, multiple reportage awards, story awards, and she's also Rangefinder 30 Rising Star. And before we get on to her in a second, you may have noticed this audio might be a bit different. That's because for the first time, I'm doing a video edition of this podcast as well. So you can head to YouTube and watch our faces if you want to do that as well. And also, before I get to Amy, just to say that the TIR and TIRF deadlines are really soon, a couple of days. They're the first awards of the year, and the deadline is 23:59 GMT on the 24th of January 2025. And also, just to say that I'm doing my own workshop, law school in London on March 31st, 2025 this year. If you're interested in that, head to alanlawphotography.co.uk. But right, enough of all that. Let's get over to Amy. Amy, how you doing?
I'm good, but that was a controversial start, this in Devon.
Oh, I know. It's not Cornwall though, Amy, is it? It's not Cornwall.
I mean, it's not, no. I mean, the thing that Cornwall does better is the cream tea. That's the right way around.
How do you do that? How do you have it?
Cornish way.
What is the Cornish way? See, I don't even know that. What is the Cornish way?
You don't know that?
No.
It's jam first, and then cream on top. Now you're going to tell me you do it the other way around, and that would be a shocking start.
I don't have jam. I just love the clotted cream on it. I don't like jam on them. So
don't think that's cream tea.
No, I guess it isn't, is it? And I haven't had it in ages, actually. We live right near Rodders, actually. It's only just up the road.
Do you?
Yeah.
That is a dangerous place to live.
It is, isn't it? It is. And yeah, how are you in general? Thanks for joining me on here. Thanks for being my first video podcast guest.
Thank you very much. Well, this is, good. It's probably the first time I've sat down for more than about half an hour in the last 2 weeks, because I've been doing my 21,000 steps a day for 21 days.
How is that? Is that literally 21,000 steps a day for 21 days?
Yeah.
That's mad.
People keep asking. Well, I've been basically spending my entire day walking, and people keep asking, "Is it for charity?" Well, no, it's just because I was stupid enough to sign up and saying yes, I will do 21,000 steps, and I'm stubborn, so I will.
Have you been doing it? Have you literally got it every day? Wow.
Every day, 16 days in a row now. So
wow,
only 5 days left.
Are you secretly treadmilling underneath your table as you're talking to me?
I did buy a little walking pad, which I will use in summer now with editing, under my desk. But no, I don't have it on now.
That's funny. This is the thing that Raoul from Nine Dots has kind of started?
It is, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Have you lost about 20 stone then since starting?
Well, I was about 5'9" when I started. I'm only 4'11" now, so
Oh, that's funny. Have you been a walker before that anyway? Has it got you into walking?
I used to do I have done about 14,000 steps a day on average for about the last 5 years.
That's mad.
Hence thinking 21,000 steps a day would be a breeze. I hadn't kind of calculated it was half as much again. So it's, yeah.
How are you doing 14,000 a day anyway? What are you doing?
I'm just used to it now. I'm basically like a dog. I need walking a couple of times a day, otherwise I get a bit angsty.
Do you have nice places around you where you live?
Luckily, I can walk down to the beach from where I live. It is a massive climb up a hill afterwards, but I try and get down there once a day if I'm here.
That's nice. That's lucky to be.
Yeah, it's a good. I live somewhere with really beautiful walks, so that's a good incentive.
Cool.
But
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, did you have snow recently though? Did you have to walk in the snow?
No, I did go up to Dartmoor to see the snow. We don't ever get snow here. It's too close to the sea, sadly. But yeah, I did go to Dartmoor and have a very magical walk through the forest up there. It was like Narnia. I was very excited.
Yeah, that is nice. We hardly ever get snow here at all as well. My kids have only seen snow kind of once properly in their whole lives, I think. So
yeah, although there was one year I remember someone photographed a wedding on the beach at Newquay and there was snow.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
I miss that. I totally missed the whole Beast from the East. I went to Vegas like the day before that came, and then I arrived back like the day after it had gone or whatnot. So
that was it. You've missed the only time it was there in Cornwall.
I know, gutting.
Which is another mark against Cornwall where Devon's better because we do get snow on Dartmoor. Just saying.
And it really isn't. We should put a poll up or something. Go do an Instagram thing, which is better, Devon or Cornwall. And
I mean, I will caveat this with I do have a dual passport because I spent the first few years of my life in Cornwall, so I do get that out. If I'm talking to Cornish locals, I do like to reference that so that I don't get lynched.
Well, that's good. You're more Cornish than me then, Amy, because I'm not Cornish at all.
Quite, yeah. And I still think Devon's better.
Do you know, I go to Devon much, actually. Just go through it on the way to my weddings. I don't do many weddings there stuff, but no.
Yeah,
Cornwall is better. Cornwall is better.
Missing out.
Anyone's listening now, they're like, get on with it. It's not this Cornwall. And Amy, we will talk about like kind of your journey into photography and stuff as well. But I was just wondering, Amy, if we could start. Do you have any kind of like funny or unusual stories from weddings that you that you could tell us at all?
Well, Alan, just so happened.
Oh, this is so good. This is so good. So yeah, disclaimer: I've heard this story from Amy in the flesh before, but I just wanted to start this podcast with it because it is possibly the best wedding story I've ever heard. So yeah, not to build it up too much, but
yeah. I mean, I will also disclaimer. You know, this shows my dedication to capturing moment and not missing anything.
Yeah.
And also, you know, the reality of glamour behind the scenes of being a wedding photographer.
Yes, it's got it all. It's got it all, Amy. It does.
My career-defining moment is what I'll be remembered for. No, remember the photographs. Anyway, yeah, so... Well, I was at a wedding. I went to groom prep and I went to bride prep and everyone was lovely and kept feeding me loads of coffee. In mugs were probably about this size, actually.
Oh, cool. Yes, because we're doing the video one. If you watch the video, you'll see Amy showing a mug there. So, yeah, cool.
And yeah, I like to get hydrated for a wedding, so I'd already drunk loads of water. Fine. Didn't really think about the amount of liquid I was consuming. Nearly missed the bride's dad coming in and seeing her for the first time because I was desperate for a wee. I was like, I gotta go. Headed off to the church, which was quite a long drive. It was about 30-40 minutes from prep. Got to the church, realised I really need a wee again. It was a Catholic service. As you know, they're quite long. And after the service, there was again about another 40-minute drive to the venue. So I was there calculating in my head, well, I'm probably not going to get to go for a week or about 2 hours. At this point, I was scouring the church for, you know, is there a toilet? I spotted there was one right in the back. There was a big queue. And then someone was like, the bride's coming. I was like, oh my God, panic, you know, I can't go because I could go, but then I might miss the bride and then she's coming up the aisle and then that's my life over. So I didn't get the actual toilet in the church. Bride comes, walks up the aisle. I'm stood there doing the pictures. Thinking, I'm so desperate for a wee right now. There's no way I'm not gonna have time at the end of the ceremony because you just don't, do you? You know, you leave the church, confetti, all hell breaks loose. So the vicar had very kindly shown me a little route from the top of the aisle through a little arched doorway, through the vestry to get to the rest of the church. If I wanted to switch and photograph, the rest of the congregation that way. So as the ceremony started, I was like, I can't concentrate because my bladder is so full. So the only thing I can think of is that vestry. I'm gonna have to. It's gonna have to do. So I went through the door, waited till there was a hymn on, went into the door. And it was just this little vestry with a wooden wall separating me from the rest of the church. And it wasn't. It was maybe like 7 foot high, this wall, so there was a gap to the rest of the church. Yeah. And I was looking around. Oh, I'm gonna have to go for a wee in this doorway. So crouched down in this doorway. Turns out to be the longest wee I've ever had in my entire life. To the extent that, and unfortunately, the hymn, it was one of those ones that had crescendos and then went really quiet and soft. And I hadn't really thought through that going for a wee on a stone, on a granite floor, was really noisy. It sounded like a racehorse going.
Oh my gosh!
And every time the chorus ended and the hymn went really quiet, I was like, "Oh my god, it must be over soon." And it was getting through towards the end of the hymn, and it was still coming, and I was starting to get really anxious at this point because I was like, the vicar could come through the door, the hymn might end, and I'm still waiting. And it was just, oh my god. So luckily, finished, looked around, and there's this doorway with this now great big puddle in it. At which point I was thinking, oh my gosh, when the ceremony ends, the bride walks out, they walk round and they're coming back for confetti, and they're going to walk through this door and walk through this puddle. Well, there's now what is quite a large puddle. So then I started desperately looking around, being like, what can I do? And there was a tea towel next to the kettle. Trying mopping it up. And I was like, I'm going to have to put the tea towel in the bin, because I was like, the vicar can't use the tea towel, so hide it in the bin. And at this point, I am now shaking because I'm, the anxiety and the shame. And I'm just like, oh my God, the hymn ends. I go to the door, ready with my camera. And I look down and there's like wee splashed on my shoes. And
oh my days.
I was shaking. Oh my God. It was just, horrendous.
Amy, that honestly, I know you told me that before, but it's still so amazing to hear. I can't believe it. I just cannot believe it. I just think nobody can have a story like that. It is amazing. It is amazing.
It's when people say, oh, you went for a wee in church. Well, that's not, all right. Yeah, I've done that before. No, actually, like.
On the church.
On the church. Not in a toilet.
Oh, Amy, it's amazing. It is. It really is. And did they come through and go through the vestry bit?
Well, no. So they came out at the end, and I watched them walk to the side, and I was just like, heart in my mouth, being like, I can't believe this is going to happen. Oh my God. I mean, the good thing was I was really hydrated, so I don't think it
water.
It was water.
Yeah.
But I watched it. They walked to this door, and then they went past it, and there was another door around the side. But it was a few years ago, and I didn't tell any. Well, actually, I came back from and I thought that was hilarious. Going to have to tell someone. So I told a photographer friend, thinking it was really funny, and they were absolutely horrified and appalled of me.
No.
But then I carried the shame with me for a couple of years, and I can't remember how it got eked out of me again. But because I went back to the church. So a couple of years later, then I had a wedding there, and I didn't click that it was that church. And as soon as I got to the church, it was like muscle memory, and I was like, oh no, I'm just for a wee. So I confessed all to the best man, and I was like, please, can you stand by the door and make sure the bride does not come in? I am going to go and use the actual toilet in the back of the church. He thought it was hilarious. So I kind of unburdened myself, but I said, please don't tell the couple that's what happened. So that was my career highlight / low point. The longest wee of my life.
Oh, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I think it's amazing. But it's nothing to be ashamed about. It shows, as you say, it's your dedication. You weren't going to leave and miss the photos as well.
It was the gamble in my head where I could have gone to the actual toilet in the church, but I may have missed the bride walking up the aisle.
Yeah.
I could have, I was like, I can't miss the ceremony, and there isn't going to be an opportunity. And once, weddings start going, you don't get the opportunity. The reality of being a wedding photographer, going to the loo is a luxury.
Yeah, totally.
So,
has it made you stop drinking coffees in the morning?
I never drink coffee in a wedding morning, which is hard for me because I am a caffeine addict. But no, not. And if I have a church wedding, forget it. I will go there shriveled, dehydrated, prune. Never again.
That reverse is a danger, though, isn't it? I remember when I started doing weddings, I didn't drink enough at weddings, so I'd often get really bad headaches. That dehydration is a real threat of weddings.
Yeah, and then you can't remember how to use camera, and it all unravels. So I was coming from a good place.
Yeah, you were thinking of being able to do the best job you can, and you did go as well by doing that. So that's cool.
I had another wedding at the same church again this summer, just gone, and I was there, and I looked and thought, I can't actually leave for a week. I must have been so desperate, because it really was quite exposed. Like I said, just that little wooden wall, and it could have the vicar could have so easily opened the door to go, I'm going to pop in, go for a week, or get a cup of tea or whatever.
Yeah, maybe that was his normal toilet. Just Amy.
But yeah, anyway, top tip, if that ever happens to you, lay the tea towel down on the granite first to reduce the noise, because never underestimate the noise of water hitting granite. It's not something that, to go with quiet lulls in a hymn.
That's so good. I want to use that as a little soundbite or a little promo for this podcast episode. Not the full story, just that bit about the top tip, lay tea towel on the ground. People will be like, "What? What is that about?" That's
you can find that on the education side of my website.
You don't. I noticed you don't have that story on your about page on your website.
I don't know. I'm like, do I want that story to be attached to my name for the rest of my life? Well, it will be now, but well.
No, I thank you, Amy, for telling that story. Honestly, it's so good. I remember when you told me it was at 9 Dots, the Cornwall thing, and it's amazing. And so, yeah, thank you. It's so cool. I guess so. Do you if you'd had a second shoot, were you shooting that one on your own?
I was, yeah.
And I shoot all mine on my own, so I would have had that same problem as well. I guess that is a benefit of a second shooter.
It is, yeah. I am thinking of hiring a second shooter at every wedding just for that eventuality, so then I can drink coffee at weddings again.
Oh, that's funny. Amazing. So
I did cool. There was only one other story that wasn't quite comparable in its horror, but where I'd have to stop on after a long country drive at the beginning of this stately home sort of long driveway. I thought I'd hop over a fence and go for a week. I don't know about you, but when you turn up, you can't just go, oh, hi, yeah, can I use the loo? Especially it's all, so I just thought, hop over the fence, and I could hear this really loud buzzing, and I was like, God, there's a really loud bee around here. And then I was like, oh my God, it's a drone. As I drove down the drive thinking, I really hope there's not a videographer. And there's the videographer with his drone. So I'm like, hi. I think when he gets home, he's going to have an interesting shot there.
Oh, man, that's awful as well. That's a great story as well, Amy. Wow. If I was you, I'd just never drink again, I think.
I know. Yeah, it's a dangerous activity, drinking.
Oh, those are both great. They're awesome. And we mentioned 9 Dots a couple of times already because you're doing the walking challenge, and that was when I heard your story. And you are speaking at 9 Dots this year.
I am indeed.
In November. How is that feeling? Are you excited to be asked? Are you nervous? Have you got a preview of your talk already? How's it?
I'm really honoured to be asked. That was very lovely. I ever so slightly terrified.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I can totally
understand.
Public
speaking is not my, usual arena. I'm very much hide at the back, observe. But I am going to do a talk, kind of from that perspective, and it being from, sort of being quieter and more introvert, and that, and how that sort of evolved how I shoot, and how it can be used in photography. So yeah, I'm going to go.
Oh, that sounds great. And so many people are going to relate to that kind of talk as well.
I hope so. I feel like if you are quieter and more sort of introverted, you don't generally get a platform, or you don't tend to put yourself out there. You wouldn't volunteer to do that kind of thing. So I feel like it was really, really nice to be asked. And I feel like I want to give voice to that sort of sector of the industry, because
that makes total sense. Because I think you're right. I think people can think of wedding photographers as a whole as being this really extroverted bunch, where they have to be because they're surrounded by hundreds of people like every weekend and stuff. But that is not the case at all, is that? Is it? It
no,
really isn't.
No. But yeah, I will. at the moment, I'm also feeling excited for it, but I think probably I won't sleep for about 3 months in the lead up.
Yeah, I get that. I totally understand that. I totally understand. You'll be great though, and you're gonna have so much support there as well. So yeah, you'll be great,
Yeah,
Amy.
no, it'll be lovely. It's the community part of it is, definitely helping me through the feeling of nerves.
Oh yeah, totally. They'll all be there whooping for you. You should start off with the church story as well. Just to lighten the mood and like.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to spoil any surprises, but
No, I get the nerves.
I'm not going to urinate live on stage. Don't worry.
No, that would be pushing it. That would be one bit too high level. That would be. But yeah, no, I get the nerves from it as well. I get nervous even when I kind of rehearse talks. You know, when it's just me at home weeks beforehand. I literally am nervous as I'm rehearsing it, and it's horrible.
And
in a way, isn't it?
you do it so often. You must be, imagine you'd be much more comfortable.
Yeah, but no, my nerves just never go. You know, nervous.
No.
I've met you loads of times. We've spoken loads of times, and I'm still nervous about talking to you now on this as well. It's a funny thing.
I know, it's funny, isn't it? It's, yeah. I don't know. I don't know it's a bad thing, having nerves. I feel like that with weddings, and then I still get nervous ahead of every wedding. And I think maybe when I get to the point where I'm not, that's probably a time to retire.
Maybe, yeah, I understand that. And maybe it keeps you, because we want to do the very best, don't we? That is the thing. But I just hate that feeling. I do.
But yeah, it is. I mean, I've been, thinking through the talk, and, when I first started thinking about it, I thought, I should sort of start talking out loud or in the car by myself. And I was thinking, I feel too embarrassed to talk out. And I was like, hang on, if I can't feel too embarrassed to talk out loud to myself.
Yes, that is true. You're going to be talking to like 100 odd people. Yeah. Or how long is it going to be? Do you know? Is it?
I think it's about half an hour.
Okay, that's a good length as well. That's a lot of time.
It's very much something I would 100% say no to. And so I feel like it's very easy to get in your comfort zone and avoid things that scare you. And so, when they asked me, I said, straight away, gotta do things that scare you.
I'm such a believer in that as well. So if I just stayed true to my natural self, I would say no to everything. But all good things have come from saying yes to things.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, I would not be a wedding photographer if I hadn't faced those fears before. So,
Well, and that's good. That's a good leading question as well. We can go to how did you get into this, Amy? How did you become a wedding photographer? I mean, I saw on your website that you used to do music photography, didn't you? But
a complete accident. So, I mean, probably the cliche story of many of us is I've always been interested in photography and had a camera as a teenager and all the rest of it. I wanted to become a photographer at 18, but I think it was kind of that stage where you had to go to university, and I know my parents are keen for me to think about something a bit more academic, and in my head, photographers were all very loud and very confident and had to be in charge of the whole day, and and being very, very, very shy at that age. It's just like nothing's like that. I wouldn't ever do that. So years rolled by. I started taking photographs on holidays and my travel stuff that I put in art exhibitions, local art exhibitions, and sold a couple that way.
What kind of subjects?
They were just sort of a landscapey, but with a little hint of life in there. So just random stuff. There's one like an abandoned old chair on a beach in Greece.
Yep, nice.
And a couple of like Cornish pictures. Nothing particularly
Greece
exciting.
And Cornwall. Greece and Cornwall. They're not Devon. They're just the beautiful places. Greece and Cornwall.
So they sold, and I used to sort of think, well, I'd like to be a photographer, but I'm not very technically minded. I'm more sort of drawn to the sort of art of the image, I suppose, just taking the picture that I sort of feel I connect to. And I felt like, well, you've got to be really technically minded to be a photographer. So I never really did anything with it beyond that. And then one of my best friends, she was singing with a local band that I don't know if you heard of Mad Dog McRae.
I haven't actually, but I'm so bad with music.
They're a sort of Irish folky band that are really popular around the West Country. And she did some singing with them and asked if I could take some pictures. And so I went along and took some really rubbish pictures. And the band really liked them. So then they hired me to photograph their end of tour gig. And so on the spur of the moment, I just went to the local camera shop and bought a digital SLR.
What was it? What was your first one?
It was 5D, Canon 5D.
Oh, nice. Well, that's a good one to start with.
Yeah, bought that. Yeah. Bought myself a little nifty 50. And nice, I thought, well, if I make something of it, great. If I don't, I'll sell the kit in a few years. Give myself 5 years. And then that spiraled into doing music photography. I did band photography, festivals, and I worked for Boardmasters and Lou Festival, again, more Cornish ones.
Oh, nice,
Volksfest. So I did those for a few years. And then it just, again, a bit of a cliche story. Someone said, I'm having a festival-style wedding. Would you come and photograph it? So I said yes. It was in Carnglaze Caverns.
Never shot there.
Cave.
Yeah, this is your first one.
My first wedding. I was told not allowed to use flash because it would scare the bats.
Oh, wow.
And it had this beautiful Hulk green light on the stage, right where the ceremony was, that turned people's skin green. Nice. So, in a panic, I had to buy a couple of little studio lights, that battery-operated studio lights, to put on the side to try and alleviate. And it was a difficult festival.
Yeah, that's the rites of fire. No, what's the phrase? No, you know what I mean. Yeah. Yeah.
It was. I mean, I didn't sleep for about 6 months beforehand. And shot it the same as I suppose I would the festivals really. And the festival photography, I do a lot of observational work where it was people enjoying themselves and all the interesting little layers and things that were going on in there, which is what translated well to sort of doing that style of wedding photography. Shot that wedding shortly followed by another, and I remember sort of taking the bouquet out and sort of balancing it on a flower pot and doing these things that I feel like, you're meant to do this as a wedding photographer. Like the shoes, I was hanging them off the windowsill trying to do something with them, and I was like, this is really, I'm not enjoying this part. It's kind of not me. I don't really know what to do. It doesn't really feel like the kind of stuff I want to do. So I was kind of doing the stuff I enjoyed, which is photographing people and their interactions, and then the things I thought wedding photographers did, which was putting bouquets in weird places and stuff and hanging dresses on trees and then I went to the workshop with this guy. Don't know if you heard of him, Alan Law.
No.
And it was perfect timing because it was very early in, and the one thing that stuck with me from your workshop was you said, I just decided to just like shoot how I want to shoot. And it seemed a very simple thing at the time, but I was like, just shoot it how you want to shoot it. You don't have to shoot it a certain way. And so I went forth then on. I was like, I'm just going to shoot weddings how I want to shoot them, and see what happens. So that was the last time I hung a dress in a tree and did the weird stuff with the bouquets at that wedding. And so, I then sort of started to go with the things that I felt interested me at weddings and not interrupting and leaning more into my personality at weddings, which was just to sort of observe stuff and let it unfold and like get myself into the places that I thought were interesting. And it sort of spiraled from there. I did 7 weddings the first year, and I think after that it was 30.
Wow.
I was working full time at the time.
Wow, gosh.
How did you
do 30 weddings and full time as well? Gosh, that is
I actually don't know. now when I look back, I mean, I couldn't do that.
No.
I had burnout. I was working in my day job, then I'd come home and edit till about 2-3 in the morning, go to bed, get up at 6, start again, and for a couple of years before I could sort of get it off the ground to go, I'm going to go fully self-employed. And it was that was a tough start. And then I finally quit and started and went full time in 2020.
Wow, that's a great time to quit.
Which is quit
your
really
day job.
Brilliantly chosen.
Did you shoot like any in 2020? Did you do some?
I did seven little weddings in 2020.
What a time to start full time though.
I know. Yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it? Yeah, I spent all my money going travelling for 4 months prior to that, and then shot one wedding in the February, and then that was it.
Yeah, mad time, wasn't it? That's good. You got all your travelling out of the way though, just before COVID hit.
Yeah,
that is good. That is good. And Amy, that workshop was years ago, wasn't it? That was like 2015 or something?
I think it was 2015,
2016, something like that. Really long time ago. Really long time. That was the first time I met you then, wasn't it? It would have been.
It was. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That is really cool. And Amy, you're just so rocking it though. You're so rocking it. And one of the questions I've got here as well is that, recently you were Rangefinder 30 Rising Star, which is mental. It's such an accolade. How was that, finding that out? Do you remember where you were when you found out you were like one of the 30?
Yeah, I mean, I was with Clyde, my partner at the time, and I remember that when the email came through, because you had to keep it quiet for, I think it was about at least a month.
Yeah.
And the email came through because someone had nominated me, and they'd got in contact, and I'd applied. And when the email came through, I sort of read it and I thought, I think they've sent that to me by mistake. Because I'd sort of not grown up, but having got into wedding photography in the olden days, when you look at the magazine, I'd see it in the magazine, the Rangefinder stars, and I'd be like, wow. I'd be like, those people are so cool. Like, I'll never be like that. So I'm not cool. And they sort of look at it.
Amy. You are cool.
In a dorky kind of way.
That's the coolest way. That's the coolest way. That's cool.
Yeah, so I'd looked at it over the years, and I remember thinking, how do you get spotted in the industry for starters? How does that happen? How does anyone notice you?
Did you find out who actually nominated you? Did you know?
It was I think it was one of the editors. I think Blair. At the time.
Yeah, she nominated me as well. That's funny.
Did she? Yeah. It was really humbling, and really, surreal, because I'd started, I'd gone into it full time, like I said, 2020, so that it was 2 years that I'd been doing it full time, or 2 or 3 years anyway.
And 2 of those were COVID years, so let's.
And 2 of those, yeah, I know. So and it was also kind of on the back of, because a lot of the sort of style for Rangefinders was generally quite whimsical, or probably as we call it now, editorial, and the sort of more reportage style wasn't really featured that often. And so again, it was that year the sort of reportage style wedding photography was really well represented. So yeah, no, I felt really, really proud, but I did spend a month thinking that they were going to email me and go, "Oh, we've made a mistake."
we meant Amy Sampson.
Yeah, exactly.
From,
Amy Sampson. Yeah. It was probably. I mean, I feel like, I know there's a lot of chat about awards and what they may mean, and I've got my own sort of views on that. I don't think they are everything at all, but that sort of recognition, I suppose, from the industry was it did give me a huge amount of validation, and did make me feel very proud. And
of course it should. It's an awesome achievement, Amy. I was gonna ask that. Has it had any kind of effect on you since getting that? Like, has it had any? Yeah,
I think, I suppose it's maybe just made me feel a bit more confidence in my own work and path of how I shoot, because I feel quite strongly about how I shoot weddings and the style I shoot in, and sometimes it can get swayed. You sort of have those moments where you're like, oh, should I be doing this, or should I be changing it, because you see industry trends and flows. But because I feel like I don't know if it is the same for everyone, but I feel like a lot of the shoots, it's quite instinctive, and it's quite sort of already like inbuilt within you. Like, trying to change it doesn't really feel right. And so, it coming from a place of how you observe the world and that kind of thing, having that recognised by something as prestigious as Rangefinder was amazing. And I think great things have come off the back of it. I mean, I've had weddings that I suppose I would have never had. That came off the back of that, the people that found me via Rangefinder.
That's so cool.
Which, those opportunities, I love travel as it is, so getting the opportunity to go and fly to LA and shoot a wedding there,
Wow, did you?
Would have
That's
not
proper
happened.
cool.
Yeah, things like that would not have happened without Rangefinder. So
wow, yeah, that's so cool, Amy. That's so cool.
Yeah,
Were you like scared? Did you go in under the radar though? Because that's scary going to America.
it is scary. Yeah. Very, well, I took Clyde with me. He's my
that's good. Yeah, you can do that going as like a duo and stuff. Oh, that's cool. And how was the wedding itself? Was it cool?
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was in the Hotel Bel Air, so very LA.
Nice.
And it was fabulous. It was
so
crazy, intense, really beautiful, lovely people. I was still friends. I got on really well with the couple actually. They had like very British sense of humour. So yeah, we've stayed in touch actually, and plan at some point to go and visit them. Obviously, when things are a bit more settled in LA. But
very cool. I bet you never would have dreamt when you were doing like music photography or whatnot that you'd be. It's crazy.
10 years ago, I worked in a job I hated, and I'd go and sit in my car at lunchtime and cry, something like, there must be something I'm good at. Like, there must be something that I can do that I would get enjoyment from rather than spending my days doing something I hate. And I would have never, pursued wedding photography because I just thought, no, I was too shy, too scared. The first weddings that I shot, especially at churches, I shot them from the back because I was so terrified of the idea of being looked at the front. I shot the whole thing from.
Oh,
it took quite a long time to get. So it was sort of getting past that barrier of the shyness and being looked at to be able to really go think. I've got to think past caring what people are thinking about me because that's relevant. That's gone. What the day's gone. I need to be really pursuing what I need to do to make the pictures that I want to make.
There's something. What did kind of make you go from being at the back of a room to being closer though? Did you just think, right, I've just got to do this, and I just, what did you take baby steps? Did you get a bit closer, or?
Yeah, it was again thinking of that sort of shoot how you want to shoot sort of mantra. It was a bit like, well, I know how with festivals it used to feel a little bit easier in a way because I wasn't there. You could fit in with the crowd very easily, and it's easy to infiltrate. So I sort of tried to just get into that mindset. It was almost it almost becomes acting in a way. I suppose you have to step out of your own sort of feelings inside and just step into this role. Like Beyonce and Sasha Fierce. It's like I have to engage.
Beyonce and who?
Sasha Fierce. She's got an alter ego on stage.
Oh gosh, I didn't even know that.
Sasha Fierce.
Oh right, okay. I'm so out of the loop. Like popular culture. This old man. Like I did not know that. That's funny. Oh.
Well, you have to sort of channel your inner alter ego that you can adopt at weddings if you because otherwise sometimes still I would just either just sit in the car for the whole day and not actually go into the wedding.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. That would be hard to do. That would be difficult to do.
Or go sit in a corner somewhere. So yeah, I just kind of now I will just sort of have to have a word with myself and say just it doesn't matter, And I had a wedding last year where I got in really close to the couple. It was an outdoor ceremony. They were like, go where you want, like do what you want. It's free range, the rest of it. And I remember the bride's dad came up to me afterwards and he said, "How do you feel about being so conspicuous? I mean, the ceremony, do you not feel like awkward or anything?" And I was like, "That's a really interesting question." And I said, "Oh well, yeah." I said, "I do," but I said, I kind of think, people might watch me because they're, it gets a little bit distracting sometimes. But I said, afterwards, after the event is over, no one remembers what I'm doing. They remember the pictures and they look at the pictures and the feelings the pictures give them. And if I think going somewhere where I'll be visible, in the right circumstance, I'm not talking about, in a church wedding necessarily, but,
you're in the vestry anyway.
In the vestry then, yeah, exactly. So I'm not even more. But yeah, it's kind of, I just try and really think, what pictures am I wanting to make here, and just getting out of my own head and my own awkwardness and just pushing that aside, just ignoring those voices that, and sometimes it takes me a little while to warm up into it. At a wedding, I might start sort of shooting a little bit further away. And I also tell the couple how I shoot as well, and I sort of talk through how I am on the day ahead of it with them, just so they know how
you work. Yeah.
And people,
I think that's really important.
Yeah, it's and people are cool with it. Like, most people, so many times with couples, you must have the same, where they go, I didn't even see you all day, and I was like, well, I've been hanging around your elbow for most of it.
Yeah, totally. And as you know, 100% proponent of shooting close as well. So yeah, I think love it. The images you get are just so much more intimate. It's it's a great thing. But I can totally understand it's scary for a lot of people, especially when you're starting out as well. It's scary, but just do it, and they don't notice you there. Especially silent shutter now as well. Silent shutter.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I shoot. Think there have been technological advances that do help overcome that, and for me, silent shutter. I know some people don't use it, but I'm silent shutter all the way. I've just got A9 IIIs actually, so I can shoot flash with silent shutter as well, which is a revelation.
That's cool.
Because obviously flash is pretty intrusive anyway. Throw in having to use the mechanical shutter. So now, I can shoot silently the whole time. So that helps a lot. As does being able to use a screen, because now you can kind of interact with people a bit more and line up the shot you want before they necessarily know that you're taking a photograph.
That's a great point as well. Yeah, so I haven't used a viewfinder in about 4 years. I use 100% of the screen. It's great. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good. You speak so well, Amy. It's great having you on there.
No? Oh,
so
thank
good.
you.
Yeah, you speak so well. You really do. You really do. Let's change tack though, and something I knew you were really looking forward to do.
Oh no. Yeah, I know what's coming.
Yeah, you do know what's coming. You do. But if anyone's not listened before or watched before, well, no one's watched before. This is the first ever podcast where we're doing the video version as well. If if you are listening, you can head to YouTube and watch it in full. So if anyone's not heard before, as a little kind of this fun thing that we do during the podcast, there's a little synopsis game where I'm going to read a synopsis of a series or a movie. It might be on Netflix, but it might not be. It might be any kind of series or movie. And we're going to see if Amy can get the title from the synopsis, and hopefully you enjoy playing at home. Before we began recording, Amy already said that she's awful at this, put in a little disclaimer. So I'm sure you're going to be great.
I've played along with all the podcasts I've listened to, and I've got it right.
No, you must have got some right.
Never.
Okay, well, the bar is low. The bar is low, so that is okay.
And everyone can see my confused face as well now.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, I need to. Right, yeah, that is good though. It's good. It's all good. Right, okay, let's go. Let's go, Amy. Are you ready for your first one? You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so this is a movie. Okay, and it's recent as a clue. Okay, so Elphaba, a misunderstood young woman because of her green skin, and Galinda, a popular girl, become friends at Shiz University in the land of Oz. After an encounter with the wonderful Wizard of Oz, their friendship reaches a crossroads.
I mean, is that a trick question? Is it Wizard of Oz?
No, it's not.
Damn it, I thought I had a really easy answer then.
It's super recent. So the film came out about a month ago, and it stars Ariana Grande as one of the stars.
No, I'm very out of touch with movies.
Oh, okay, cool. It's based on a musical. Do you like musicals?
Yeah, a little bit. I can think of it now. I've seen some clips on Instagram, and I can't think of it. I mean, my era of films is kind of Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
The original.
I've already asked that one on here though, so I can't
Back to the Future.
Oh, actually, I'm not a Back to the Future fan. Actually, randomly, I know.
Get out.
Yeah. No, okay, I'm going to tell you what this is though. It's Wicked. It's called Wicked.
Ah, that's it. I'm thinking it's like the sort of Hulk kind of skin of the colour of the skin for that first wedding I ever shot in the cave.
Oh yes, in the cave, yeah, with the green light. It's fun. Honestly, it's so good though. I've seen the stage show about 5 times, and the film
have
now.
You?
I've watched the film now 3 times. It's so good. It's so good.
I have heard people talking about it a lot.
It's brilliant.
So I feel like maybe I'm missing out. I should watch it.
Yeah, you should watch it, Amy. You should. Okay.
I've also never watched Die Hard either. So.
Oh, have you not? Oh, that is good. You should watch that. Okay, you should watch it. You got a lot to watch. Okay, 0 out of 1 so far, Amy. But
excellent.
You can only go up from here. Okay, so your second one is harder. I think.
Oh,
So,
no.
sorry. This is a series. It's very beautifully filmed. The cinematography is brilliant. Okay, so a wealthy man hires... there's a clue in it, actually. Okay, so a wealthy man hires down-on-his-luck grifter Tom Ripley to travel to Italy to urge his vagabond son to return home. Tom's acceptance of the job is the first step in a life of deceit, fraud, and murder.
It's got to be Ripley something,
Yes,
hasn't it?
Ripley.
It's Ripley.
That's it. You got it.
Is it the one that was black and white?
Yes, exactly that.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was it.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
That was beautiful. Yeah, that was so well filmed.
Honestly, you can just pause it and like every few seconds, and it's this amazing compositions, the light and dark. I loved watching that.
Yeah,
and I think Andrew Scott is brilliant in it. It's really, really good. Even if you don't like cinematography, people watch that. It is great. 1 out of 2. This is good.
Can't believe I've got a score.
Okay, your final one. This is a harder one. It's something I'm watching at the moment in the second series. Okay, so this is on Apple TV. There's a clue as well. So a grieving therapist starts to tell his clients exactly what he thinks. Ignoring his training and ethics, he finds himself making huge changes to people's lives, including his own.
Oh. No idea, but I'll
that's fine.
I'll have to.
It's really good. Yeah, it's really good. Okay, so it's called Shrinking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I haven't heard of that. I'm watching Silo at the moment.
Oh, that's on Apple TV, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that good? I've not seen that.
That's really good. Yeah. And there's another one which I can't remember the name of. It begins with S, and it's directed
Severance?
by Ben. Yeah, Severance. You watched
cool,
that?
Yeah. I've not seen it yet though either. I want to watch it. Is that really good? I keep
that's
hearing
really
good things.
Good. Yeah, it's very weird, and it took a little while to get into. But again, really, it's filmed in a really interesting way. Yeah, it's worth a watch, definitely. Cool. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All Apple TV series beginning with S, so Severance, Silo, and Shrinking.
Yeah.
People, get on them. Yeah, that's good. Are you someone who can? I can't personally, but are you someone who like edits while Netflix is on things, or?
I might have to reveal my dirty secrets now. So, I can edit with a certain level of program on. So like
Big Brother or something.
Oh no,
that's good. No, Amy, it's good. That is good. Trashy reality TV kind of is the best.
I can have trash TV on in the background that keeps me entertained, but isn't so good that I have to watch the screen it's on.
Yes, that makes sense.
So I can't watch something that I'm actually interested or is filmed well. When I'm editing.
Not like Ripley. You couldn't watch Ripley.
I can't watch. No. That's something, some trashy program that gets you really hooked.
Yeah, perfect. I love all that.
So yeah, I'll be devastated when they stop doing Love Island because it times perfectly for summer wedding editing season.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, do you know what? We used to watch loads of Love Island, but for some reason we stopped watching that. But I love trashy TV. I do. And have you ever watched Selling Sunset on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh,
I went past when I was in LA. I went past the estate agent.
Oh, did you go? I would be like there.
They had all these. They had loads of signs saying, please don't come up to the glass. Please keep away from the glass. So obviously it had lots of people being there, like looking through the black windows.
Yeah, I would do that. I'd be like goldfish. Yeah, don't knock on the glass or whatnot. Oh, I would do that. I love it. I think that is so good. I love that.
Yeah,
that's
I love
it. Oh, Amy, that was fun. And you did 1 out of 3. It's good. A lot of people don't get any, so that's.
I can't believe I've got every podcast since you said about asking me to come on, I've been listening to those thinking, oh no. Oh, no, to the Netflix quiz.
No, you did well. You did well. That was good. And hopefully people enjoyed playing along at home. So, Amy, let's do something else. Let's talk about one of your specific images. And if anyone's watching the video version, I'm actually going to show the image now. If this works, this is my first time kind of doing this, so we will see. I'm going to bring it up in a second. I'm just talking to go over the kind of the gap while I'm trying to bring it up on here. Okay, and that should be showing now on.
Hey.
Yeah, it is. Okay, that's good. So yeah, if you're watching the video version, you'll be able to see it. If you're not watching the video version, then Amy, let's talk about it. Can you describe this image if someone is listening to the podcast? And could you talk about it? Do you remember taking it? So this is one of Amy's Reportage Awards, which is awesome.
Yeah. This is Daniel Costello's sax. And it's at Tunnels Beaches, and he just is doing the most incredible leap in the air.
Yeah, it's a huge leap. It's so
huge.
Cool.
And
you've got the frame perfect. You've got this leaping. It's a saxophonist, is it?
Yeah. Yeah,
So he's leaping in the top right, and then you've perfectly framed it to get like the crowds around the bottom, and what I presume is the bride and groom in the bottom
the couple,
left.
in the corner.
So
I mean,
cool.
I slightly wish he had his slacks just turned slightly to the right, if I, but I'm still pretty pleased.
Great.
But
yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, so he it was the first time I worked with him. I have seen videos of him before, and his energy is crazy. So he'd been working the crowd and doing these jumps. And it just watching him makes my old knees tremble. Like oh my God, his knees gonna really hurt himself. But Tunnels Beach is for anyone who hasn't shot there. It's on a sort of, that outdoor area is quite a slope down, so you kind of you can lose the impact of someone jumping. It's kind of like a slightly so I thought I really want to get he's doing these amazing jumps. He's hopefully going to do another one. And so I thought I really wanted to get the real impact of how high he's actually jumping. And the crowd without the sort of background, because you've got the sea and the cobbles and the rest of it, and it's a lovely backdrop. I felt it was a little bit distracting. So behind me here, he's got this chair. There's a chair sort of just, you can see just on the right, that he was stood on. So I thought, I'm sure he's going to go for another jump. So I was squirreled down against, there's a little wall. I was like right on the floor, tipped right back. Bridging as far as I can against this wall so that I could get, enough prep to enough height. And of course, everyone's going for it. I love the fact that literally everyone's going for it, and all their expressions are different. That's the lady with the sunglasses and the blue dress who's like,
oh yeah, yeah, that's so cool.
Someone else has got a bouquet up, and it's just like a little bit of a Where's Wally of like people's expressions.
Yeah.
And just the fact that the couple were there as well, and I was like, if he jumps, and it's one of those, again, with the sort of shooting documentary style, when you're hoping, you line up a shot and you're like, if this works, it's going to be magic. It might not happen, like he might not jump. So it was one of those, and I was down in this corner, and it's really awkward. I think my leg like behind me, and when you're getting sort of pins and needles, and I was like, I really need to move. I'm going to get cramp in a minute. Well, I'm just going to wait. And then he did this almighty leap.
Yeah, it's huge. That's huge. Yeah. Is he a basketball player in his spare time or something?
I think he must. He's exhausting to watch. His energy is just insane.
It's really clever, though, how you'd seen him do that kind of thing before. So you anticipated that you might do this again. And so you're purposefully lining up that composition. I mean, that's all these things you have to think about, which I think a lot of people just don't. I think some people think we just turn up at weddings and just click what's in front of us, but there's so much thought involved.
I think when documentary was having its like heyday, sort of trendy editorial period, there was this thing where people go, oh, yeah, I'm a documentary photographer, and it would just be sort of, yeah, snap, 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 that's what's happening. And I suppose sometimes we don't know, that there's that, and then there's more a sort of deeper level of thought of, what you want from an image and what you want to portray that's happening in that scene. And then how you're going to compose it, and then waiting. A lot of the time, there is quite a lot of waiting. I do sort of say to my couples, you might want to sort of let your family know how I work, because you might turn around and be like, oh, Amy's in a bush. What's she doing there? She's still in the bush. A few minutes later, like, what's your photographer doing in the bush?
Probably having a wee.
Probably having a wee. Either having a wee or lining up some really cool shot. But yeah, there is an element of waiting, anticipating, waiting, and then hoping.
Yeah,
and hoping it falls into place. And so there is, there's also a lot of luck involved. That things will go. And there's for all the shots that work out like this, there's the shots where it hasn't happened, or like someone's gone off for a week. Not me, one of the couple, or the sax guy's too tired and he doesn't want to do another jump or anything like that. But on this occasion, it's one of those ones where like you just want to chimp, and like internally, yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, totally. I want to look at the back of the camera, but I couldn't have to carry on shooting. But I'd really, really pleased that all worked out, because he was doing these amazing jumps, and I was like, I want to get it, but the ones I was shooting before, where it was in part of the crowd, and it's kind of worked, but it just wasn't very impactful. So I was like, I need to get rid of the background,
It's so cool, Amy. It's so cool. The way it's multi-layered as well. You've got the saxophonist, but the couple as well, and then the crowd in the background. It's just really cool. Brings your eye all around.
A lot of the time, the bride was running around with the bridesmaids, and so they weren't necessarily her with her husband together. So I just like the fact that they were in it as well.
Yeah, and she's got her arm up, like pumping.
Yeah,
like it's.
She was Abby, amazing bride. They were such a cool couple. Like, I love that wedding so much. It's one of those weddings where you come home and you're just like buzzing the whole way home.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool. But yeah. So
that's so cool, Amy. Hearing your thoughts about that. Yeah, that's awesome. And if anyone is listening to this, obviously you're listening. I should stop saying that. If you're hearing it, you are listening to it in some way or not. But yeah, if you're listening to the audio version, head to thisreportage.com and the post there. I'll include the image. And also, Amy is going to do an exclusive video after this as well, which is for the Reportage members, where she's going to talk about some more of her award-winning images and story as well. So yeah, do head and check that out as well. So I'm going to stop this sharing now, Amy. Let's talk a bit more. Oh, yes, we're back. Kind of full screen. And let's go on to some kind of... Let's go to another question. Oh, a tricky one, Amy.
Oh.
What do you think the secret to having a full diary of bookings is?
Oh, that is a tricky one.
That is tricky, isn't it?
And I feel like the sun has come out at the right time and now got this sort of mystical light that I've been shrouded in. I mean, that is a hard one. And if I knew all the answers, then I'd probably relax year on year, where you get that moment you're like, is this going to be my last year?
That is true, isn't it? It's a roller coaster doing this.
It is a roller coaster.
We've been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster.
And I feel like, I mean, I've been lucky. So I don't get like millions and millions of inquiries. I never have been one of these people that get like 100 inquiries a month that you have to turn away loads. But I always book enough the weddings that I always get to the number I need. So
and they're the ones you want as well.
And they're the ones I want. And I know by shooting how I shoot, I put myself into a bit of a niche that won't be for everyone. So there is an element of acceptance in that I may not be able to fill my diary as easily as some people that because of the style I shoot, but the people I get will really be tuned in to how I shoot, and it'll just be amazing combination. So I don't know, for me I feel like it's just keep showing up and keep plugging away.
Well, that's a huge part of it, is it? Sometimes photographers can put their heads in the sand, and not do anything, and just makes it worse.
At weddings, I'm very much I'm generally hopefully quite a friendly person anyway, and pretty smiley, and so if people come up, like, I really like if people come and chat to me at weddings, I will very much give them the time of day, and I know it's a bit of a controversial one. Some people don't like it, but I quite like it if someone just comes up and asks me about my camera or what I'm really shooting on, or because they're just interested, aren't they? They just want to chat. So and
especially if you're shooting most of the day on your. Do you shoot mostly solo? Do you?
Yeah, maybe one wedding a year. I might have a second if a couple ask. But pretty much all the time solo. So
it's nice to have a chat with someone if they come.
Yeah, it's nice to have a chat. People come and chat all the time. Like, I will be, sort of friendly and open with everyone, and hopefully make everyone there feel relaxed.
That's so
I
important.
Think that's like a big thing. For being able to shoot. Again, what I say to my couples, when I have a chat, I chat with people before they book, and I'm very open about how I shoot and what my style is and what I don't shoot. So I sort of tell them I won't be hanging a dress in a tree, or doing any of that kind of stuff. Flat lays, like. But I don't know how to do them. So I'm very open with people before they book. So when they do book, that tends to be they'll cement what they want, and then they book. And then at weddings, again, I will chat through how I work and stuff, and people will then see the work, and if they like how I've been, and I think being like nice to people at weddings and giving people time when they do kind of speak to you is really important, because you don't know, all these people at weddings, you don't know who they are and what their connections are and what they might say and who they know that's getting married. So that side is really important.
That's so true.
And now, because it's a few years in now that I have started getting quite a lot of referrals that come back around, or
cool.
like people that have seen pictures or friends of friends, or
yeah, and as you say, that's from doing a good job, but it's also from your presence on the day and how you are. That's a huge part of it.
Yeah,
it really is.
I mean,
if you're like the stuffy photographer in the corner, it looks like really kind of angry or like doesn't want to be there. The guests are going to be like, oh, I don't want that person at my wedding as well. So and it puts everyone else at ease when they see you just nicely chatting to someone. I think it's
also I think
really
as
good.
well, like sometimes there's a perception that, again, like wedding photographers are all very sort of loud and bossy and that's fine if that's how people are, and that's it works for them and how they shoot is absolutely fine. There is no, it's the beauty of this industry is you can tailor how you are and how you run your business to suit your personality, and there's no sort of one size fits all. And so I'm not criticizing people that are like that, but there are people that aren't, and that will work for some people. That some guests, will be like, it's nice having someone who's not telling us to do this or be there, or like, it's nice to be able to relax and concentrate on what we're here for.
Totally.
So I get, that definitely helps. I think just really being nice and giving time to everyone that will speak to you at a wedding, and just being smiley and that kind of thing, because being memorable, I feel like, that's your best business card that you can leave at a wedding, is being a nice presence to have around, and to not underestimate the power that can have for future bookings, because people do remember the person a lot of the time.
That was so good. I was thinking that's going to be a perfect soundbite, that is. So I didn't want to interrupt you then. That was like the best business card you can leave behind at weddings. I think that was really good. That was really
it's so
good.
true, isn't it? I mean, I'm friend, and I was having a chat the other day with one of my grooms from a couple of years, his mum, who I'm friendly with on Instagram. We chat about gardening and stuff.
Nice.
And a couple of years before, I'd shot her sister-in-law's wedding. Her sister-in-law's daughter's wedding. And I remembered that bride's mum because she was so engaging and amazing, and like all the couple's friends loved her, and she was just like one of those mums that everyone just loved. This like heavenly light coming through.
That's cool. That was great.
And I was chatting with her the other day, and this the mum of the bride of old, she passed away this week from cancer. And she'd been such an amazing presence, such an amazing person at the wedding. And I just wrote this little email and said, I remembered her so much. I said, I see so many people at weddings. I said, so the fact she'd stuck in my memory because of how she was. And it was really nice to see her again at the wedding recently. Says a lot about who she was as a person. And I sent through this photograph. I said, I've got this photograph on my portfolio where she's just going for it on the dance floor. And this, the mum came back and said, that's what swung it for my son with booking you, was because it was like, there's our aunt like absolutely going for it on the dance floor, and like, wow. Loved it. So there's that as well. I think the pictures you can get of everyone at the wedding really showing like them as their true selves and having their best life also is another kind of sort of calling card of sorts, to be like, that person took, that, and even, the grip and grins, good old grip and grins, people come and go, oh, can I have a picture of us like with the family? And sometimes we slightly internally go, yeah, fine. Always do it with a nice smile on your face, because I know I've got there was a wedding where I did that for a family, and it was mum and dad, their grown-up kids, and I shot both kids' weddings as a result of that picture. They were like, they printed it out, and more weddings spiraled from that one. That one grip and grin they printed out. So I think a lot of it is how you are. I mean, obviously that doesn't get you booking straight away. That's a sort of more of a down the line, but how you are at a wedding day and how you interact with people is very much a big way of keeping that diary booked. Other than that, I think like I'm certainly not an expert on social media, that's for sure. I feel like just keep showing what you want to, how you shoot and the type of couples that you hope to work with, because there will be people that are looking for you, and that niche. So as long as you put your stuff out there and showing up, I certainly think, if you go and join directories and things like that, find directories that align with the type of couples that you would want to shoot with.
Or awards bodies, like there are good awards bodies out there.
So like if you're going to enter awards, again, like look for ones that represent maybe, the star you shoot in, and the area you want to be with. Keep like I said, keep plugging. Keep putting stuff out there, showing up, and I feel like the industry is sort of changing, and certainly social media is starting to move at a pace where I'm starting to feel like, that sort of separation of my age and like the pace of things changing, and that, I sort of wonder how that's going to sort of unfold as time goes on. But I think it's very easy to lose your head sometimes when you look at social media and feel like everything has to be done a certain way because of what might be popular, but there's very much still an industry for people that shoot reportage or whatever sort of different. I had a call with a couple this week that booked me a year ago, and we hadn't chatted. They just wanted a little video call to say hi, and they were like, we've got sent all the supplier the lists from venues, and the pictures are all sort of blurry. All the couples were like, their guests were like blurry around them, looked like ghosts, and there was this kind of, and we just want to like have fun and have like some amazing pictures to really remind us of that. And I think it's important just to honor how you want to shoot and what you feel your the reason behind why you're shooting and what you're delivering. Like totally. keep that message out there. And interestingly, I do wonder whether, sorry, a slight tangent, I suppose, but as photographers, we'll sort of label ourselves, don't we? I'm editorial, or I'm luxury, or I'm reportage, and I don't know how much of that makes sense to people looking for wedding photographers, which is something I want to look into a bit more this year as well, because I do wonder whether sometimes labeling ourselves doesn't help, because people might misunderstand it.
That is true. That is an interesting point, and how a lot of people take labels in all different kind of ways. Documentary can mean so many different things to so many different people, so many different photographers these days as well. Yeah, it's all interesting. But all that advice you gave there was so good, Amy. It really, really was. Yeah, really, really good. Yeah, it's so good there. It's so good. It's so good. Let's do some smaller, quick-fire ones, because it's already over an hour now. I could just talk for you for ages, but let's do this. Because I saw this on your About page, so I'm going to ask, if you could only have one of these three things for the rest of your life and none of the others, which would it be? Cats, travel, or chocolate?
Oh my God, that is really hard.
You can only have one.
Well, my cat is now no longer with me.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
He was 19 though. But I now have a niece cat, because my sister has a cat. So I suppose cats, that's kind of covered. So I'm going to go with travel. I would want travel. But keep travel.
Over chocolate? You could never have chocolate again.
I mean, that's a really devastating thought. But I feel like there's a lot of the world left to be explored. And I've probably eaten every chocolate bar available on this planet.
What's your favourite? What's your favourite chocolate bar?
I really like Tony's.
Oh yeah, Tony's. all that different. Yes, they do lots of different types,
chunky,
don't they?
Yeah, that was that. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's a good recommendation. That's good. Have you had the Hotel Chocolat peanut butter ones?
Yes, I had actually Montezuma's.
Cool.
They do peanut butter, chocolate covered peanut butter balls, and they are amazing.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, they're dirty.
That sounds good.
I ate a whole bag of them last week.
Let's do some more quick fire ones. Let's do quick fire. Okay, you ready?
Prepped.
Okay. What's more important to you, composition, light, or moment?
Ooh, I'm going to go with moment. And
yes, I agree.
Yeah, moment, and then I'm going to hope that I can get the rest in there. But obviously for photographers, all three are important. But I think when you're thinking about your couples and what they're getting out of those three, if you have to choose, then moment.
Moment, yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Which part of the wedding do you enjoy capturing the most?
I really love the hugs, post ceremony, like that part because everyone's a bit emotional. I also really like speeches because I love finding out about the couples because often I don't know, you sort of then you've built up a picture of them and then you start to find out who they are as people, and I really enjoy that part.
Yeah, that's true.
And all the little interactions between their loved ones that happen that are like little micro interactions. But it's probably going to be a really packed dance floor. Like it's probably my favourite.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you dance yourself?
I do. You've seen me on the dance floor.
Yeah, it's good. But it's funny because you say that you used to be like, like really far away and stuff, and like look at you now. Then like being in the middle of a dance floor, it's mad.
Although it's funny, so when I first one of the sort of early days of shooting weddings, I remember like a couple were like, "Oh, stay behind when you finish, like put cameras away, like I'm party," and I was like, "Oh yeah, that'd be great," because I'm really in it and on the dance floor. And I packed my cameras away. They're like, "This room, you could stay." Packed my cameras away, got in there, and then I was like suddenly acutely aware that I'm sober. I don't know anyone, and I feel suddenly really self-conscious without my cameras. Like I'm dancing with these people I don't know, and I just feel really stupid. And I feel like having the cameras, it's like special. Well, always like an invisibility cloak. You can go anywhere. It's like a AAA pass. You can go anywhere, and you're entitled to be anywhere, and you can feel comfortable being anywhere. Take those cameras away, very different scenario.
I totally get that. That was another really good soundbite. You like the queen of soundbites here. Like it's really, really good, Amy. Really, really good. Okay, let's do like 2 more quick ones as well. Well, actually, I'm not going to bring out my questions. I remember this. When you were growing up as a kid or a teenager, did you have any kind of like secret crush, celebrity crush?
I'm always a bit weird as a kid when it came to crushes, and I didn't really like have crushes on like typical people. So
it sounds good.
I had a really big crush. I mean, this is funny because of how tall I am. I had a really big crush on a local jockey that won the Grand National.
Oh wow, really? Yeah.
And we went to meet him and the horse, so you could go and have a photo with it. And I was so shy and awkward that I didn't speak to him. And the horse stood on my foot.
Oh wow, gosh, that must have hurt.
And he's about 4 foot tall.
Oh wow, Amy, that is a bit different. I like that. That's good.
So yeah, that was my secret crush. Nigel, he's called.
Oh, and you literally got crushed by the
I got crushed by them.
Yeah, that's funny. I've never spoken to someone before I had a crush on a jockey. That's a good one. It's good. And final question, Amy. Let's go with: do you eat the canapes?
Oh, yeah. Well, last year I made a concerted effort to eat canapes, but the thing is, I'm vegetarian, so it's a little bit awkward. So canapes, I'm a bit like, no. I go to swipe one, and then I'm like, I don't know, is this sausage or I don't know, because it's veggie. So then I have to ask, and then it just makes it more difficult to just swipe. So weirdly, I find it really easy to swipe cake. That's fine, no qualms about that. But canapes, a little bit iffy. So yeah, I last year I was like, I'm going to do it, and my couples will just go for it. But often, it's like people come with the canapes, and then they see your photographer, and they swerve like that.
Yeah. What is that about? It's like we don't deserve to eat. Yeah, come back. Yeah. Like sometimes hang around like the kitchen entrance you can grab them straight away.
Looking hungry.
Yeah. It's like salivating.
Yeah, it used to be absolutely no chance. I was too scared. And then last year I did a couple of times, but then I was a bit like, I don't know if I can eat this because I don't want to tell if it's meat or not.
So
it's a bit like, if it's a veggie wedding or it's very obviously veggie, then I will. But I'm still building a confidence on that front.
That's funny. I was thinking now, if any of your couples going to listen to this, like the weddings going forward, they'll be fine with like seeing you eat a canapé. But if they see you like having like 2 cups of coffee or something in the morning, they're just going to come over to you. Yeah, they'll just take away that drink from you. I'll have that, Amy. Yeah, not till later, Amy.
Don't Don't offer Amy a coffee. No one offer her a coffee when she gets there.
Oh, Amy, it's been so fun talking to you. Oh, I loved it. You speak so well. You really do. And you're just so
you
fun
say
to
that to all your guests now.
No, but I don't, not at all. If you listen, not at all, not at all. You do, though. There's so many sound bites. It's really good. Really, really good. Anyone listening now or watching on YouTube as well, Amy's going to do another video with me where she's going to talk about all her awards, which is going to be fab. And that is just for This Reportage members. So do head to thisreportage.com and join. And there's loads of hours of exclusive videos. But Amy, yes, I will be seeing you. If I don't see you during this season, I will be at the front, like heckling you during your 9 dots. Your 9
Please
dots
don't
tour.
throw anything at me.
No, I won't. I won't. You'll be great. You'll be so good. You'll be so good. You'll be so
Unless
good.
it's cake.
Yes. Okay. Cake or vegetarian canapes, and I'll check them on. But yeah, thanks so much, Amy. All the best for the season ahead. Yeah, it's been awesome. Bye-bye. Bye.